In this video, I'm going to be talking about my experiences buying retro games on the Whatnot platform. I've been buying retro games on the Whatnot platform for about 2 months now, 2 or 3 months. I also sell on that platform, and so there'll be a separate video talking about my experiences as a seller. This video, I'm going to be talking about some experiences as a buyer. And most importantly, what I'm doing in this video is I've got a bunch of Whatnot packages that have came over the past week or two. I'm going to be opening up live in this video, well, not live, but opening up in this video, and you'll be able to see kind of how the packaging is, things like that. I'm going to go over, I have a list of my orders here. I've also jotted down what the games are currently worth versus what I paid for them. Now, the prices that I paid on the sheet include shipping charges per item and also tax, which I'm in Tennessee, so it's 10% sales tax here. So some of these prices might seem higher than what you would typically pay. So just keep that in mind as we go through these prices. What kind of stemmed me creating this video was I got a package, this was probably about 3 weeks ago, and I ordered some games from a seller, some Master System games, and also a Boxburger Time. And they came pretty much without any packaging. They came in a box, they were just kind of thrown in there. There was a little bit of paper wrap, kind of like what Amazon does, where they just kind of put that in with a box. The problem was these were just loose carts. No protection. Opened it up, obviously, knew immediately what I was getting, and fortunately there wasn't too much damage. The carts are fine. The box was an older box to begin with, a little bit beat up, wasn't horrible, could have been a lot worse. I hate to see that, especially when you're going on these auction sites and you get into a bidding war, you're really wanting good packaging. And I'll get into, in a different video, I'll talk about what it's like selling and packaging on the platform. Whatnot makes it easy, but they kind of make it difficult in the same sense, where they basically provide the shipping labels. All the person has to do is package it up and slap the label on, send it out. Whatnot takes care of all the shipping charges. So it really doesn't take that much effort to wrap some things in bubble wrap, secure the package, send it out. Especially on a more of a marketplace platform, you like to see that more often. So what I decided to do is order some packages, order some games from a bunch of different sellers, open them up on this video, and just kind of show you guys what the packaging's like, maybe give a shout out to some sellers, and if there's any bad sellers, they're going to get negative shout outs in this video. So we're just going to start off. I'm not really going to go in any specific order. This first package is from KSpade89, and these are all going to be usernames on Whatnot. And unfortunately, I haven't got that many good deals lately on Whatnot. Typically what you'll see, and I'll go over this in my seller video, but if you have a big following, you have lots of people in your streams, items will go over what they're valued at. If you don't have that much of a following, your games will go undervalued. And so, let's see here. So, fortunately, this seller did provide a packing slip. Not all of them do that. So, this specific seller, I got, looks like 4 N64 games. So, 007 The World Is Not Enough, Kirby 64, Pilot Wing 64, and Star Wars Shadow of the Empire. And right off the bat, what we see is all 4 games were sent in this, looks like a 6x9 bubble mailer, and no packaging on the inside. We've just got loose carts. They're relying on the bubble mailer to secure them. Again, unfortunate. And this was sent priority mail. So, and again, weight doesn't really matter because Whatnot pays for it. So as a seller, but we'll just take a look at the games we got here. So we got 007 World Is Not Enough, blue cart. And this one, they actually gave me a packing slip. So World Is Not Enough ended up costing me $9 before tax and shipping. And what that comes out to after tax and shipping for me is $14.27. That game's currently valued at $16. So if we look, I paid $9 for a $16 game. That's pretty good. Next up, and this one, I think I overbid. Oh no, this one I actually got a good deal on. So Kirby, which is currently a $43 game, $43.65. I got for $32. So that was actually a nice pickup. Next up was Pilotwings 64. So this one was $12 and current market value is $17.59. And then last but not least, we've got Star Wars Shadows of the Empire, which I paid $9 for. This is a $14 game. Now this one did have some writing on the label, but overall, pretty good condition. So from a value perspective on the games, that was actually probably one of my better purchases on the platform. However, really disappointing with the packaging. Just tossed in a bubble mailer. Alright, next up, we've got, this is from Little Leaf. Let's go ahead and get this one opened up. And this one they just packed, once again, bubble mailer, just wrapped around. I'm guessing this is just one game. Don't remember what I got from this person. Yep, so just one game. And this one looks like Excitebike. Now this one they did wrap the packing slip around the game. And this one I actually don't mind being sent in a bubble mailer because it was wrapped around multiple times. And so really good condition, Excitebike 64. And we ended up paying $11 for this one before tax and shipping. And Excitebike is worth $11.28. So this is an example where after tax and after shipping we definitely overpaid on this one. My total for this order was $16.46. It is a really good cart. However, this one kind of stemmed into a bidding war, and I was really, at this time, I was just looking to pick an item up from this seller. This was their very first stream, to kind of see how they would handle packaging, and if there's any post-sale support issues or anything, just kind of how they would react to that. Alright, next up, we've got, okay, so this is from Josiah Barber 89. And this one, I am not looking forward to. So what it feels like here is that this is a box. And I actually think this is a game that they just wrapped around. It's not even in a box. It's kind of extended off the box. That's what it feels like. Hopefully I'm wrong. But let's see. I think this was the seller that I actually want to give away from. So what I'm expecting is, yeah. Yep, that is really unfortunate. So, right off the bat, what you can see here is they sent me the Funko box for the giveaway, which is nice. But then, the two N64 games are just hanging off the side there. Let's get this cut open. Yeah, and then there's just a bunch of rubber bands around this stuff. 1 second here. This is very unfortunate. I get it, but just, you know, just take a little bit extra effort and put it in a box. Like it doesn't cost that much to go to Walmart and get a box, or go to Staples and get a box. And so what I have in here, yep, I bought 2 games from this person. And what's really frustrating is one of these games was Bomberman. Now, granted, All-Star Baseball, not that concerned about. All-Star Baseball, I won for $1. I was the only person to bid on it. So that's certainly nice. However, Bomberman was a $26 game. And it was just strapped to the end of a box. So here's Bomberman. And then here's All-Star Baseball. So All-Star Baseball, let's see if we can find it on our sheet here. Yeah, so All-Star Baseball is a $5 game, $4.75. I paid $1 for it. $2.20 total after shipping and tax. And then Bomberman 64, which is a $25.55 game, which I overpaid by quite a bit on this one. This one turned into a bidding war. And again, this was the first game I got from the seller in that auction. And I really didn't think I was going to get anything else from him. Kind of just wanted to get it to see what type of seller it was. So we got Bomberman 64. And we ended up paying, after shipping and tax, because I'm in Tennessee, we paid $36. So we paid $10 over value on that game. All-Star Baseball, we profited $4, you could say. And then this was a giveaway that I won during the stream. So this is a Funko Pop. I think this one is, I believe, yeah, this is a Michael Jordan Funko Pop. So when you're on the Whatnot platform, they periodically do giveaways to get more followers, so that next time you're in a stream and you're streaming, you have more people that get notified to jump in your stream, more chance of a bidding war. It's kind of just like a marketing thing. So anyways, their giveaway, one of the giveaways for the stream, was this Michael Jordan Funko Pop. So this was free. And, you know, obviously nice that it was sent in a box. Not even sent in the original box. This one was actually sent in a Naruto Funko Pop box. So they could have easily just put this in a bigger box, put the 2 games in. It would have been easy. Unfortunately, they didn't go that route. And again, that was Josiah Barber 89. Alright, next up, we've got SNES Retro. And I believe these are a bunch of Genesis games, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, so on these, again, you can hear the carts moving around here. He did use some peanuts, some packaging material there. But no bubble wrap between the games. Alright, so I'm just going to go through these games real quick. Pretty much all these games I got a little bit under value. There was really only 1 or 2 that were substantially undervalued. So Turrican, it's about a $21 game. We paid $20 after shipping on that one. Vector Man 2, we got pretty good undervalue on that one. I know the video's running a little bit long, so I'll run through these pretty quick. Robocop 3. Then we've got, I was on the fence about bidding on this one or not. Ended up getting it for somewhat of a decent deal. Cosmic Spacehead, Codemasters title. Typically I like to get Codemasters titles in the cases because they are that custom case for the cart design. Shanghai 2. Pitfall, we got a really good deal on Pitfall. I will go over that one in a minute. Tasmania. So Pitfall, They actually did put a packing slip in here, so that is nice. Let's hear. Alright, Pitfall we paid $4 for. And right now, let's see if I can find it. Pitfall is around an $11.50 game. So we did really good on that one. We paid basically a third of the value. Another one I was excited to get, and mainly because I already have the box for this somewhere. I've got the case for this game behind me somewhere. That's the original Toe Jam. I know it's on the wall somewhere. I'll hunt it out later, I guess. But we got Toe Jam and Earl. And this one, I think I paid a decent amount for, but I was okay with it. Yeah, I basically paid what the cart's worth on that one. But I was okay because I already have the case for it. Then we got Pit Fighter, Tailspin, and TNN Best Tournament of Champions. So once again, that was SNES_retro. Is that person's user ID on the platform? A little bit better packaging, but not ideal. I would have liked to seen those games bubble wrapped. I don't know if it shows. It does not show total. Okay. Alright, next up. Alright, this one I'm really worried about. So this is from Cram5525 on the platform. This is actually somebody that used to be active in the retro gaming community on Facebook. Does not have a good reputation. At least from my past experiences, kind of labeled as, you know, one of those, like, used to be labeled at least as, you know, one of those quote-unquote scum resellers. I have not dealt with him in years. He has bought some stuff off my stream, recently some Saturn manuals, so figured he had some decent Dreamcast stuff, so I figured jump in the stream and see how things went, and see if we can get this open. There's a pretty scarce item in here, and I'm concerned because it's a boxed item. It's in this box, and I'm worried it's about the thickness of this box. So I'm really worried it got smashed. It's an item that wasn't cheap and that is getting more and more difficult to find. So let's get this opened up. And right off the bat, what we see is some newspaper on the inside here. More newspaper. More newspaper. More newspaper. Alright, so it is bubble wrapped. So that makes me feel a little bit better. We've got our packing slip. Some more packaging material. Whew! Alright, it is bubble wrapped. We'll get to that item in a minute. Okay. I believe I got 2 items from him. So we'll open up this one first. This one, no bubble wrap on this one. Would have liked to seen some bubble wrap on this and not just paper. But it is Star Wars Episode 1 Racer for the N64. And that item, I paid $10 for that game. Alright, and here's really the big item. I paid $63 for this. And it's an item that is pretty hard to come across in the box. Well, it's a hard item to come across, period. But this one is actually in the box, and it's the mouse for the Sega Dreamcast. So you guys are probably aware the keyboard, very famous accessory for the Dreamcast. There was also a mouse accessory that you could get, and that's what this is. The box is a little worn. Now, he had listed this as brand new in the box. It was not brand new in the box, clearly. The seal was already broken. The hang tab's already ripped off. Complete in the box, maybe, but definitely not brand new in the box. Some people called him out on the stream for it, and he's like, no, it's brand new. Clearly not brand new, just complete. So what we do have is, now what I will say is it looks like it was never used. However, it is an open box. So there's the mouse. Here we can see the end still has the foam with the original tape on it. And then on the inside, see if we can get the pamphlets out here. Yep, so the registration card is actually bent over a little bit. But it does still have, and this looks like it was unused, the Dreamcast mouse instruction manual. Now there is something in here. Let me see what this is. Oh, it was just a piece of the packaging fell into the manual. So no big deal there. And that is actually, that's cool that we actually have that. That is the cover for the rollerball, so that it doesn't come deformed, it looks like. So that is cool. We still have that. Again, it's very hard to put a value on this item, mainly because I didn't even bother checking eBay for it. I was essentially going to get it no matter what it went for. I was expecting this to go closer to $90. I'm glad it didn't, obviously. It ended up going for $63, which was pretty nice. So we'll just go ahead and get this package back up. Rarely do I see items like this on Whatnot. I have gotten some decent items. This still in the case. Play It Loud. Green Game Boy I got on Whatnot. Alright. And it looks like the hang tab actually was still there. It was just folded into the box. So we do still have the hang tab intact on that one. Alright, moving on. Next up we've got... Alright, this is a game from GSauce 64. Before I open this, I'm pretty sure I know what this is. This seller took a week to ship this item. Whatnot has a policy as a seller that everything has to be sent out within 24 hours. This seller didn't generate the shipping label for like 6 days. I kept checking it, wondering when he was going to ship, and he finally shipped it. I paid $10 for this, and again, I was just looking for a seller to review on the channel, and it's Asterix and the Great Rescue. I paid $10 for this. It still has the sticker from back in 2014 or 2015 when the game was $4. Alright, next up, we've got 2 packages left here. This one is from, looks like Jeffybo87. And I will, again, there should be I'll link everybody's Whatnot in the description below. And I will also, it should be popping up everybody's username on the screen as I go through these. Alright. Next up, we see another case of 2 N64 games in a bubble mailer, no extra packaging. Alright, and so with this one, we've got 2 N64 games. First up, we've got a pretty rough labeled Dark Rift with a rough back. I paid $10 for that one. And Iggy's Wrecking Balls, $14 for Iggy's. Alright, and we've got one more package left. And this last one is from a seller I think I bought a few things off of. It's Jets 80K. He's got a pretty big following on Whatnot. So let's go ahead and open this one up. So this one was actually sent in a large flat rate box. One thing with Whatnot, you'll never get a, you should never get this box. So they sent it in a large flat rate box, even though it's not a flat rate label. Whatnot prohibits the, and I'll go over this in my seller video, but they prohibit the use of flat rate boxes. Even though it could save them money for specific reasons, they don't allow the use of those. Alright, so we do have a flat rate box. Now I think you can use regional boxes, but not flat rate. And so here we can see, pretty sure he didn't send me drinks. So just some extra packaging material. Alright, so again, this is a bigger seller on the platform. You can see they're packaging their items a little bit better. Alright, and right off the bat what we see is we've got another bubble mailer in here, but this is okay because it is inside of another package. Oh, okay, so we've got some Dreamcast stuff in here. I remember the seller now. Okay. Yep. And they include, I always do this with my packages, but they include their card. So they're on Instagram. They're also on Whatnot and Mercari. And before I get to the games, I actually do want to grab this. So he's got lots of different sports pennants, and he found out that I was a Tennessee Titans fan, and he actually included a Titans pennant in the box. So that was very cool. He was, you know, anytime you buy from him, he tries to figure out what your favorite sports team is and send you a pennant if he has one available. So that's really cool, neat little add-on that he does for his buyers. And then, moving on, so we've got Phantasy Star Online. Again, so this one is no manual, but in the original case. Disc isn't horrible. So that was a pretty good pickup. And then he had two items. Ooh, this one actually got moved in shipping. So he did a bad job shipping this one. But he had two items that were kind of exclusive to the European market that we didn't get in the US. But they're pretty neat. And so the first one is called Dream On Volume 1. There was like 12 volumes of this, I think. And it was kind of like their demo disc that we got here in the Dreamcast magazine. So it had playable demos and also movies. Like trailers, movies you can watch for the games. So the playable demos on this one are Monaco GP Racing Simulation 2, Toy Commander Ready to Rumble, one of my favorite games, Incoming, and Trick Style. And then on the movie side, you had Sonic Adventure, Sega Rally 2, Tokyo Highway Challenge, which is Tokyo Extreme Racer, UFO Striker, Power Stone, Snow Surfers, Red Dog, and Virtua Fighter 3 TB. Now the issue that happened during shipping with this one is the disc actually shifted. And it actually slid down in, so hopefully it doesn't look like it got damaged. So hopefully we're still okay with the disc. And then the other Dreamcast item he had is the Dream Key. And what the Dream Key was in Europe was kind of like their internet browser disk for the Dreamcast, but it was also the registration disk. So this is what you use to register your online account on the Dreamcast. And this one, yeah, that disc is really good condition. So that is very cool to see. And it still has the original back on it, which is nice because it has all the phone numbers for Sega in the back in the European regions. So that's cool to see. And then the other thing that he had that I went ahead and picked up because I thought it was really cool, and it was still in the box, is the Sega Genesis Arcade Motion. And this is basically, I think is this made by AtGames? I don't know. Mugat Games. And this was basically their version of the Wii. So it's pretty cool. It's actually got, it's got a bunch of Sega Genesis games. It is AtGames. So it's got a bunch of Sega Genesis games on it. But then it also has 2 blue Wii style controllers that it's got like ping pong and various Wii Sports types games on it. And then, so here you can see 15 Sega games, 7 interactive sports games, 18 arcade games, and you can go on their website and you can actually download more games to an SD card for it. It's essentially a little, you know, at-home emulation machine, but I thought it was cool because it's got the motion controls on it. So I went ahead and picked this up. Neat little Sega item. But that's it pretty much for what we're opening today from our packages from Whatnot. I just kind of wanted to show you guys in real time kind of, you know, what the packaging's like on these packages. Same as buying from eBay. It's really going to be up to that seller to package them, whether it's going to be good or bad. Overall, these were okay. There wasn't really anything horrible. At least we had some packaging material in a couple of them. Bubble Millers, I would have liked to seen a little bit more packaging than what we had, but the games arrived safe. Typical purchasing and receiving games. Nothing really too crazy there. From a Whatnot experience, I know the video is getting a little bit long, so just bear with me. From a Whatnot experience, what you're really looking at is, the easiest way to sum it up is, if that seller has a big following, a lot of times people are going into their stream and just upbidding just to support them. They really don't care about the game per se. They're just supporting them as a content creator. There's a lot of people, a lot of big YouTubers on Whatnot. Cheap Find Gold Mines. There's a bunch. I mean, I could run through a bunch of names, not just in the retro gaming community, trading card community. There's a lot of game stores now that are doing box breaks on Whatnot. They've got categories across the board. They just added watches as another category. And it's really hard because when I applied to become a seller on Whatnot, you had to go through this in-depth process where you had to prove the inventory you have, prove that you can get more inventory. They were really looking for those bigger sellers and not smaller collectors just selling on the platform. And that's what I am. I'm a small collector that I occasionally sell on the platform. I keep going back and forth on whether I like Whatnot or eBay. As a seller, that'll be covered in my seller video. As a buyer, if you can get in those small streams, it's worth it. I wouldn't even bother with the big streams unless you want to support that content creator, right? If you're a big supporter of them, if that's your way of supporting them instead of doing Patreon or something else where you want to support them but you want a physical item, by all means you can do that. What you'll notice a lot of is a lot of people jump in the streams, upbid the item like crazy, and then give it away. They'll tell them, hey, just, you know, give it away, and then they'll rerun the item and they'll give it away, And that does two things from a seller perspective. That gets kind of your name out there, because it's kind of an instant shout out that seller kind of thinks they have to do, because hey, you just bought this game and you're just giving it away to somebody else. And then it gets that person a lot of followers, right? They might check out their YouTube channel, they might check out any of their other social media platforms, they'll check out their future streams on the platform, things like that. And so yes, it's good kind of in those respects, but it's also toxic in that it is crazy upbidding these items for really no good reason other than, hey, I want to shout out, or hey, I just want to support this person, right? You can't really look at the values going on Whatnot and use that from a market perspective. Whatnot's pretty good with, once the stream's closed, it's closed. If you participated, yeah, you can still jump back in that stream and see the sold listings, but that's it. You can't go back and rewatch the feed, anything like that. Their support team can, if there's a dispute or anything like that. But other than that, it's pretty good. From a dispute perspective, if you ever get into that position as a buyer, you just jump on chat, you chat with them, and then they will contact the seller, right? And then if there's an issue, they'll just pay out the claim. As a seller, you can't do every shipping's tracked. You can't do signature confirmations. You can't do insurance. Can't do anything like that, because Whatnot's paying for the shipping labels. You have to adhere to the labels that they provide. Unfortunately, it's kind of a drawback, but it's not, right? From a buyer perspective, you don't have to work with the seller directly once you made that purchase. So that's nice. The other thing I don't like about Whatnot is the way the purchases work. So you aren't charged at the end of the stream. You're charged at the end of the auction. So if I go in an auction and I buy 20 items, I get 20 credit card charges, right? And so what happened during my first stream was I got a fraud alert, right? Bank called, said, hey, did you authorize this transaction? We see you're using this app potentially, or somebody's using it and you've never bought from them before, things like that. So once you get through those hurdles, it's a little bit better, but it's still, you're paying. And that's the one thing that's kind of odd, right? So shipping's based on weight, and then each additional item, they've changed their policy this week, but prior it was every additional item was $1 shipping. No matter the weight, it doesn't matter, right? Now they've kind of adjusted that so that they're not overcharged for shipping and they're not undercharging for shipping. So they kind of adjusted that a little bit to kind of compensate there. But one of those drawbacks is those constant charges on your account, right? And then you look at your statement and you just see whatnot, all the way down through. It would be nice to have a consolidated invoice at the end of the stream. I understand why they don't do it, right? They want the seller to get that instant payment, and the seller can actually see whether it fails or succeeds. If it fails, they can say, hey, your payment failed, please get it fixed, or we'll rerun the item. And then they can basically 5 minutes later, if it continues to fail, they can rerun the item, sell it to somebody else. I kind of understand why they do it, but it's just one of those things that I don't know the best way to handle that, other than, maybe invoice every 10 minutes or something. It would be nice to kind of lump those together so you don't have a bunch of microtransactions almost, especially on some auctions that I'm in. I'm bidding $1, $2 for these items. It's not like, I'm bidding an exorbitant amount of money, right? The most expensive game that I've ever got on Whatnot, I think, is Tales for the Game Gear, which I think I paid $80 for, and it's around a $100 game. And so, I'm not paying tons of money. Most of the games I buy are $15 or less. Anything beyond that, I feel I get a better value if I just go on eBay and buy lots. Then I know I can get a little bit of my money back, I kind of slowed down selling on Whatnot. I'm focusing more on eBay. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. If you use Whatnot, drop me a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. And be sure to hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to be dropping a video probably in a couple days that's going to be talking from the perspective of a seller on Whatnot.